Hello, everyone, and welcome to City Council Comments. I'm Steve Ericson, along with Mayor Jerry Cook. Today, we're talking about both the September 4th and the September 18th City Council meetings. Kind of sitting here now in our final days of summer, official summer.
Yes, and it's not feeling quite as much like summer today when it's 64 and raining, but it's nice.
Well, we're supposed to get some storms tonight, so we'll see. But yeah, fall officially starts this Saturday.
Yep.
And I think by next week they're saying I'm going to start feeling a lot more like fall.
Well, it's feeling like it more like it now. Plus, we need all the rain. It's nice, and it kind of beats that 90-degree and humidity we had last week. So
yes, and we had quite a few of those 90-degree days this summer. So, all right, well, we'll move into things here. We're going to start off by talking about our meeting on September 18th. One of the first items there we wanted to talk about was a proclamation. This is for October Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Right. Yeah. So we're very fortunate to have Alexandra House essentially right next door, and they literally help out thousands of folks, and so we proclaimed October recognizing domestic violence awareness, and as October as that month, and then we had the representative from Alexandra House here to talk about their upcoming Hope Fest, which is on September 29th, and it's from 9 to 2, and it's a very family-friendly event. There will be a 5K fun run, 2-mile walk, kids zone, kids dash, vendors, exhibitors, face painting, inflatables, balloon twisters, and it's apparently dog-friendly. But it's probably like the pet fair coming up this week. It's probably for your well-behaved dogs or something, or however they say that.
That's important.
But it's a great cause, and it raises money for the formerly the Walk for Hope. Yeah. It's going to be out at Bunker Hills Regional Park in Andover, and Hope Fest, like the walk, is a family and dog friendly event. Then I already gave you all that.
Yeah, and I believe it's Pavilion 3 if you're heading out there. They raise money. All the money raised, of course, goes to the Alexander House, which helps victims of domestic violence.
Yep. And they wanted us to point out there's some great food. The Bones brothers will be selling their mouth-watering barbecue there.
There you go.
I've never had that food truck food, but I think that sounds like it's worth trying.
Go on the walk, save that energy, and burn off that energy, and then have some food.
There you go.
All right. Council held a public hearing. This was for a grant application from the U.S. Department of Justice. No one spoke at the public hearing, but we've done several of these before. And we'll be getting some more equipment out of this grant.
It's a nice thing because it's designed specifically not to supplant anything that you're already buying. Yeah. So this is for things that, hey, if you had an extra, in this case, $12,000, what could the department use? Mm-hmm. And in this case, they decided that some portable breath testers, vehicle alarms, portable printer to replace a bad printer. And then additional tasers that weren't already budgeted. And you have to have a public grant or a public hearing. We've never had anybody that's ever come up and said, "I don't think that police department needs that extra equipment," but you still have to go through the motions. Yeah. And it's real nice. It really keeps our police department right there equipped.
All right. We recently we're getting a speed trailer of some sort with some previous money and. Something else they recently did. Yeah,
so we had taken one of these grants and we were going to use the money for the training center, and then something happened at the federal level where the grants were cut off. So we funded the training center with drug
forfeiture.
Thank you. Yeah. That's that word, drug forfeiture money. And so then when the grant became available, we thought we could just pay that back, but because it was already in the budget, or we'd already figured out a way to pay for it, it couldn't supplant a previous project. So we had a new project at that time, and that was the additional speed trailer, and I don't recall what else that was.
Which we just did a few months ago. That's why I was like, it seems quick, but because of the whole delay in that other one kind of pushed everything back.
I think that was probably the deal.
Yeah. So all right. Well, we'll look forward to. I know the police department will appreciate getting that equipment. Council adopted a resolution approving a final plat. This is for Palno Estates at 125th Lane and Main Street. We've talked about this area before. There's some new homes now that are going to go there. Newer homes. Because there's no homes there right now.
There's no homes there now. Well, there's actually on part of this down on Main Street. There's at least one that'll continue to be there because that's a little lot that's all by itself. But then the second lot west of Shenandoah Boulevard on the north side of Main Street, that one was divided. This action divides that into 2 lots. Okay. So there can be 2 single-family homes there that will face north, that will face the whatever that street is there, 125th Avenue, I guess it would be. Yeah. And then across the street is the balance of the lot, and that is split into 2. So there'll be 2 single-family homes there. And this was the final plat for that, but it's a nice complement for right next door where we just approved 6 single-family homes going up that frontage road. So it should be a total of 10 new construction, new homes there in that little area, all single-family. It's a nice addition.
Okay. So we'll look forward to seeing those homes under construction, I imagine, whenever they can get in the ground.
Yeah, we've done our part. It's up to them now.
Yeah, all right. Council adopted several resolutions and ordering the preparation of a feasibility report and plans. This is for street reconstruction. We're already talking about 2019 projects, and there's going to be quite a bit of construction again.
Yeah, so we typically have about 10 miles of street reconstruction each year. Coon Rapids has 210, 220 miles of streets, plus 400 cul-de-sacs or whatever it is. So we've got a lot of stuff. And every year we try and do about 10 miles of street reconstruction. And if you look at the list, the notifications haven't been sent out yet. But if you look at the list, one of the projects is like 19 streets, and the other one is like 17 to 20 streets. So it's a lot of little disparate pieces all over the place. And but it's really important to keep the infrastructure up. And we'll talk about the budget later and priorities, and street reconstruction is part of that.
And all of that. And there is some municipal state aid streets that are being done.
Yeah,
correct?
2.3 miles of this is municipal state aid reconstruction. And I'm blanking on which section that was. I know where it was, but
there's a Wedgwood Drive from Main Street to Round Lake Boulevard, Olive Street from Main Street to 121st Avenue, Foley Boulevard from 124th Lane to 115th Ave.
Yes, and that's going to be the big project. So the other 2 are basically just straight reconstructions. Yeah. It's the Foley from Northdale to Main Street. There's been lots of hand-wringing about that. Wondering, is the median going to continue? What's going to happen up there? Are they going to put mailboxes in the center of our sidewalks?
Which is what happened last time, right?
Yeah. And the difference here is we're in control of this project because this is a city project. Okay. Everything from the Northdale and Foley intersection south is county, and from basically 115th there north to Main Street is a city project. So we've got control over that. It won't be a median. It won't be a divided road. The intent will be to possibly do some traffic calming things. We've had some trouble with some speed along there. Yeah. Trying to get a trail connection on one side. We've got a trail that comes up Foley now. We've got a trail that takes off again once you get on the other side of Main Street. So trying to get a trail along the east side of Foley there. Okay. And we'll have to see how that goes.
Okay, but this would basically then finish Foley between Northdale and up to the golf course.
Right, yeah, so then it'll be a complete reconstruction, right, all the way from Highway 10 into the golf course. All right.
Well, we'll, of course, talk more about street construction as that goes on, and folks that are impacted by assessments will be getting notified about those as well.
Yes, yeah, everybody impacted by these projects will be getting letters. You will be invited to neighborhood meetings. They'll actually come. They'll have a meeting in the area, and I really encourage folks to come out to those. There's a lot of information shared, and to stay on top of these because you will have contacts. You don't have to call your council member and say, why does it seem like they're not doing any work, or how can I have access to my curb? The contractor has a contact. There's a city inspector out there. There's all these levels and all these people that'll stand in there to make sure you know what's going on.
All right. Council adopted a resolution. This authorizes the execution of a Minnesota DNR cooperative agreement. This is for the Crooked Lake Fishing Pier, which folks that have used the lake before know there's one out there. There's actually another one being put in as part of the park renovation project.
Right. When this all started, we knew that we needed to make the fishing pier, ADA compliant. So the project was to build a new pier and tear out the old one. And then once the project started, they realized that the old one really wasn't in that bad a shape. So we partnered with the DNR on this. We put in the new one and then rehabbed the old one. So now there are two, because it's very popular and it's really nice to encourage people to get out and go fishing. So now there's two of them out there, and according to what I've got here, they're both going to be ADA compliant. So that'll be a real nice thing for up there.
All right. Well, I know they're feverishly working on that park, and I think it's mostly done or getting there anyways this fall. So
it's really beautiful park, and people are already using it even though it's not open.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to me to see how there's this beautiful sidewalk and all these great sidewalks, but the parking lot is here and the playground is here, and you're going, I think there should be a connection here, because this is going to be really hard to keep grass growing here, unless they're going to maybe berm that out with landscaping or something.
Yeah.
Even when we went out and visited, it was really, I don't really want to walk all the way down there. I just want to cut up here.
Well, I need to get up there. I haven't been up there since we did stories on Ted's store, which is that still there? Or?
The building is there.
Okay. Yeah, Ted's store is not in operation.
Ted's store is not in operation. Right next door, the barber shop is still going.
Yeah. All right. Well, I need to make a field trip, I guess.
Yep.
All right. Council considered a resolution and actually adopted the resolution accepting plans and specifications. This is for bunker renovation at Bunker Hills Golf Course. They've been doing bunker renovations there now for a couple years.
Right. Yeah. It's a really big, and it's an expensive ordeal. And but the bunkers were laid out many years ago, and the new speed of golfing, the new way they golf, they want more grass berms and less sand bunker. It speeds up play. Plus there was like black plastic or tarpaulin at the bottom that was slippery, and I don't know all of it. I'm not.
You sound like you know a lot, actually.
I'm not a golfer. I just love listening to Tim Anderson when he talks about it, because he's so excited. He loves golf, and he loves his golf course out there.
Yes, definitely.
And it's nice to see the reinvestment, because it's 50 years old this year.
Yeah.
And the only way that you are going to stay really competitive is to really have a really nice golf course, and they've done that. It's gorgeous. Everything is up to date, and now with the last 9 holes of bunkers being done, the full 27 holes of the championship course will all have the new bunker. The bunkers done.
The bunker renovations, yeah.
Renovations, yes.
So basically this authorized them to solicit bids for the project. This is actually in next year's budget, and it's paid for out of the enterprise fund with the golf course.
Correct. Yeah, and they're trying to get in. They're trying to get on it a little bit earlier. I think there's going to be a lot of demand for golf course work next year, having to redo the TPC course to fit the PGA, and so there's some advantages to try and get in early and get this going.
All right. Well, looks great out there, and I imagine this will only make things better.
I would.
All right. That's going to do it for our September 18th meeting. I want to talk about now our first meeting of the month, which was the day after Labor Day, Tuesday, September 4th. And a couple things there we want to talk about. The first was a resolution accepting plans and specifications for the Riverwind building package and authorizing the solicitation of bids. Here we have the other major park project that was going on this year. Riverwind
Park, and if you drove by there, it really looked like a major construction, because there was a sewer line that ended up going through the middle of it, and lots and lots of dirt piles. It looked like you're building a big building or something out there. But it's going to be the pickleball courts. It's going to be a basketball court out there, new playground, lots of nice rails. It's going to be just gorgeous when it's done. And then out in front, we just had this place marker. We didn't know what we were going to do with the Riverwind building. They wanted a gazebo. They talked about all these different things. When you've got pickleball courts, you really need to have bathrooms. You really just can't drop just bathrooms there when you're concerned about your curb appeal. You've got a lot of cars driving by Northdale Boulevard. You don't want to look over and just see a bathroom.
Yeah.
And the Riverwind building is really dated in how it was sitting there. So many conversations, many discussions, many groups, many meetings, a couple meetings over there. And it was determined to do a complete renovation on the building Fortunately, last year we had a large storm that came through last year that is updating a lot of roofs in town, including the Riverwind building. So part of the renovation will be a whole new roof on there, getting all the landscaping cleaned up, getting it painted, getting an entrance changed, renovating the interior. It's a very busy meeting space, and we want to keep using it. So the short story, now that I've gotten through all that, is we're going out for plans and specs to get the work done. Kinghorn's going to oversee it, Kinghorn Construction, and we're just really excited to see it back in operation next year.
All right. So it was about 70% of the building, I think was the number Tim Himmer used, was either changing.
Yeah, it's basically everything from the entry going west. So there's that big arched entryway.
Yeah.
When you go in there, there will be two separate meeting rooms going to the left, and the one furthest to the west will have a separate entrance. It's got a separate entrance, but they're adding a little protected weather area outside so you can get in and out easier. Going to the east, it's going to be some storage and then cold storage. We're not messing with that right now. We're just doing everything going west.
All right, and they're adding air conditioning there, new furnaces, window and door replacements, LED lighting, new flooring, bathroom upgrades, improved insulation. You mentioned the roof replacement, and exterior stucco rehabilitation and painting. So that should look great when it's done, and they also need to connect it up with the improvements being done at the park.
Right. Yeah, they're tearing out some of the old pool area, concrete in the back, and connecting trails, and just making it all look right.
All right.
It was already a very busy meeting space, and that was really with almost no use in the summer because without air conditioning, the building was almost unbearable.
Yeah.
So now, with air conditioning and with the renovations, it's probably going to be used a lot. I mean, even more.
Another option for meeting space, certainly. We'll be talking more about this, I imagine, next month when the bids come back.
Yep.
They'll need to award the bids for the project. All right, Council adopted a resolution. This was adopting the preliminary 2019 tax levy. This is something that needs to always be done in September, but the budget process, as we know, starts earlier in the year.
Right. Yes. Oh, staff starts working on it, I believe, like in April or May, and they start trying to figure out, assess what their needs are going to be in 2019. They work with the city manager. The city manager consults us and says, "What do you think is going to be acceptable?" And so there's a lot of hands in putting it together and a lot of work. We got our first look at it in August, because in September we have to adopt a not to exceed number. And the number that we, as proposed 2019 budget, the city tax levy is $28,233,781. And so that gets locked in as we can't exceed that number in September. It can be reduced if we can find ways to, for some savings, but then in December, then it's locked in.
Okay, and it was about a 5% levy increase?
Slightly less.
Somewhere in that area, okay.
Yeah, and you have to look at the impact on all of the, because it's property taxes primarily, and you have to look at the impacts in town, and it's by state statute determines how you divide that up, and it's a deal where after several really strong years of residential price recovery, any increase is really kind of weighted towards the residences because those are the property taxes that are going up right now. And the lower the value, the higher the increase you've seen, and hopefully it's palatable. Most of the percent increase on the city tax, it's between 3 and in absolute worst case scenario is the very entry-level house where it went up 23%. City taxes. So the city taxes portion went from like 402 to 497. That was our biggest percentage jump on that entry-level home.
And again, these are benchmark homes, so it's homes that the city just sort of tracks for comparison purposes. Again, everybody's home's different.
Yep.
They can change value at different paces, different years, depending when your house is assessed or inspected, for improvements. And so it seems like there's a lot of variables. hard to compare every house and tell you exactly what it's going to do.
It really is. You'll get your truth in taxation letter with the proposed taxes for 2019. You'll have an opportunity to address council, after that comes. And then in the spring, you can actually challenge the value of your property. Right. I think you can do that actually anytime, but.
All right, but anyways, this is in any case, this is the city portion of your taxes, which is what obviously the city council controls. They're still made up of the county and other taxing districts.
Yeah. Oh, and the school district and everything else. So when you get your full tax bill, that's many things. This is just the city portion, which is one of the smaller portions of your property taxes, I believe.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like the county and city are around the same. Maybe the county's a little higher. And
be easier to have one of the statements in front, but
yeah.
The budget really reflects the priorities of the council and the staff, and it's really weighted towards public safety, infrastructure. The city has always been very aggressive in maintaining a strong infrastructure. Investing in our water and sewer as an enterprise fund, but it's always been strong reinvestment to make sure we've got good water for our residents. Strong reinvestment in all of the sewer lines in the street to make sure they're lined and that it keeps working. So and that 10 miles a year streets. Yeah.
And of course, the majority of the budget, 70 some to 80%, is made up of personnel costs, right? So
right, and when you've got this COLA that hits every year, it's hard to work around that.
All right. Well, they'll be doing some tweaks and seeing if there's anything else that they can reduce before the actual budget is adopted, which will happen in December, and I believe there's a public hearing at that time as well.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Moving along, council approved the contract with the Minnesota Blue Ox. This is for usage of the Coon Rapids Ice Center for the 2018-2019 season. This is exciting. They had a successful first year, and they're back again.
They love being in Coon Rapids, and we love having them here. It's great entertainment down at the Ice Center. It's a lot of hours of use at the Ice Center. It just brings a lot of life in, and those young hockey players are very involved in the community, very involved with our youth skaters. Yeah. Having the Blue Ox here has also brought in Bruce Boudreau, who is one of the owners, also obviously the coach of the Minnesota Wild. His family has run a hockey camp in the summer for 35 years. They brought that into Coon Rapids this year. There's just so much energy coming out of having them here. Plus, they're fun to watch, and they had a great season last year, and we're looking forward to another great season this year.
Yeah, that hockey camp was pretty cool. We did a story on that, and great to see them out here, and they'll be here for another season.
And I love how young hockey players, when you've got the coach of the Wild hanging out in your ice arena, high-fiving you when you go by, giving you, taking pictures with you, it's just energizing. It's just really exciting.
Fun to see. So let's hope they have another good season out there this year again, and that more folks get out there and check them out.
Yeah, and they would love to have done like a 3-year contract. I mean, they really want to be here for the long haul. We're limited to, we've got some tentative agreements, but we can only do 1-year agreements with them at a time.
Okay, and it's mostly for their ice time and the usage of the facility that they pay for.
Yep.
All right, that brings us to the end of that meeting. We want to mention here, I guess we had some eating contest between our police and fire department.
So we had we're very fortunate. Texas Roadhouse came to Coon Rapids. It was, I believe, the first location in the state of Minnesota, and there's still only one or two others. Yeah. Very popular, very community oriented. They're very, they're always working with our police and fire on something. And they had a rib eating contest Monday night, and it was between the Coon Rapids Fire Department and the Coon Rapids Police Department. Great fun. They contributed $700 to the winner's choice of, and then they contributed $300 to the other, the not winners.
You don't want to use the word losers?
And the fire department stayed in the lead for quite a while, and then apparently they kind of got bogged down, and the police moved in and they won.
Boy,
but
I wonder if there'll be a rematch next year.
Probably.
So a little practice for the next year, and then go at it again.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun.
But anyways, like you said, money for a good cause indeed.
Yeah.
Before we go, quickly wanted to mention that the farmers market is still open. We only got a couple more weeks of that.
Yep. Wednesday afternoons over at the Coon Rapids Ice Center. They've had to amend some of the schedules. Like this was Seniors Week this week, and they had to cancel those activities because it was cold and rainy, and who wanted to do that?
That's how that goes.
Yep.
October 10th, that is supposedly the last day out there.
Okay.
So we got a couple more Wednesdays to check that out. 3 to 6 in the parking lot of the Coon Rapids Ice Center. And speaking of October, the Fire Prevention Week will be here before you know it, and that always culminates in the open houses.
That's October 13th?
Yes.
Saturday, October 13th. That's a great opportunity to get out. And all 3 fire stations are open 10 to 12. Each one has just a little bit of a different flavor, a little bit different activity. And I always make sure that I get to all 3 open houses because it's really fun. Lots of cookies, lemonade, and they really go all out to make sure you feel welcome and that you see what they've got for equipment. And Fire Station 3, usually the LifeLink helicopter comes in or something, and it's always something fun to them.
Yeah. I imagine no ribs at the fire station open house?
They haven't had ribs in the past. No.
We'll see. All right. Again, Fire Station Open House coming up on Saturday, October 13th from 10 to noon. So check that out. That's all I have, unless there's anything else you want to add.
I don't think so. We've got elections this year, but no changes.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any changes, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, and that actually starts this Friday, September 22nd, I believe is this Friday's date. Absentee voting and in-person voting. So you can request a ballot by mail from the Secretary of State's office, or you can vote in person, Coon Rapids residents over here at the City Center up until the Monday before Election Day.
Yeah, and then we've got a ribbon cutting on Raising Cane's chicken. That's opening first week of October, I believe.
Is that October 2nd, I believe. Monday is the 1st, so.
Okay.
I think that's the day. Tuesday, October 2nd. I saw that on Facebook.
Okay, that sounds right.
I know my daughters are excited for that place, so
Yeah.
I imagine there's other people too.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's popular, limited menu, but
Yeah.
everyone goes in there for the same thing, right?
Yeah, chicken fingers. I
Yeah,
think that's the only thing they have.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, hey, you get a successful business model, go with it, right?
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
I don't know if any. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of other things, but that's probably good enough.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being here today and
Absolutely.
talking to us about our 2 meetings in September. Thank you for watching at home, and we'll see you back here again in October.